The deeper you go, the more hostile the ocean becomes. Temperatures plummet, pressure reaches crushing extremes, and all sunlight completely disappears. For centuries, we operated on a single, seemingly unbreakable rule: oxygen belongs to the sun. Plants capture photons, forests breathe, and algae pump oxygen into the atmosphere. This is the standard equation for photosynthesis. It represents our planet's biological engine, combining carbon dioxide, water, and light to produce oxygen. Mathematically, it is rigid. Remove the light, and the oxygen vanishes instantly. No sunlight means no oxygen. That strict biological boundary defined our understanding of Earth and dictated exactly where scientists believed life could survive elsewhere in the universe. But recently, researchers lowered equipment 4 kilometers beneath the surface of the Pacific Ocean, a realm totally starved of photons. This chart plots depth against light and oxygen. Light hits 0 early, but at 4 kilometers deep, the oxygen line spikes dramatically. Scientists assumed equipment failure and recalibrated, yet new measurements clustered exactly around the anomaly. The oxygen was real. The only distinguishing feature in these zones was the presence of polymetallic nodules, dense metallic rocks scattered across the abyssal clay, full of heavy metals. Finding elevated oxygen hovering around these rocks creates a massive scientific problem. If the seafloor can generate oxygen in the abyss, our classical understanding of planetary life support is missing a massive variable. Now, the deep ocean isn't completely barren. We know organisms gather around hydrothermal vents, feeding on chemical nutrients from Earth's interior instead of sunlight. Giant tube worms, pale crabs, and strange bacteria build dense communities in the crushing dark. But these animals face a strict limiting factor, shown in this chemical equation for cellular respiration. To survive, they burn oxygen. Because this ecosystem constantly pulls oxygen out of the water, the total concentration over time should steadily drop toward 0. Since biological life strictly burns oxygen, these rising levels indicate a source that is entirely non-biological. The answer lies inside those metallic rocks. The nodules are highly concentrated chunks of manganese, iron, nickel, and cobalt. In water, hydrogen and oxygen atoms are tightly bound. Splitting them via electrolysis requires an electrical charge. Under extreme pressure, these metal-rich nodules act like natural batteries. If their microelectric currents hit 1.23 volts, they break the molecule apart, releasing free oxygen. It is a microscopic reaction, but when you spread millions of these metallic nodules across vast stretches of the abyssal plain, the cumulative effect turns the ocean floor into an enormous electrochemical reactor. The abyssal floor operates as an active geological engine, independently manufacturing the chemistry of life. Breaking the rule of sunlight forces astrobiologists to redraw the orbital map of where life might exist in our solar system. For decades, scientists looked past the outer icy moons. Without sunlight, the assumption was that they were starved of oxygen and completely sterile. But look at the thick, cracked ice shell of Jupiter's moon Europa. It hides a liquid ocean that contains more water than all of Earth. Similarly, Saturn's moon Enceladus actively ejects towering plumes of liquid water directly out of its dark southern pole. If rocky seafloors can act as batteries, these alien oceans might possess their own buried metallic nodules, generating localized pockets of oxygen entirely without stars. The hunt for extraterrestrial life is no longer confined to the sunlit surfaces of rocky planets. It now extends deep into the dark underground oceans of the outer solar system. This electrochemical engine also forces us to look backward. Billions of years ago, before plants or sunlight-driven photosynthesis ever evolved on Earth, oxygen was thought to be nearly non-existent. But primitive oceans might have used these same geological batteries to create isolated oases of oxygen in the dark, allowing complex metabolism to emerge long before we previously thought possible. Even right now, hidden beneath kilometers of black water, silent rocks are still generating a chemistry we are only beginning to understand. Planets do not merely adapt to host life. They are active mechanical participants that create it.